Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Who's Who in Harrisburg. This is a show that seeks to learn a little bit about the people who are really the movers and shakers in our community. And I am delighted to welcome to this edition of Who's Who in Harrisburg, Samuel Levine, whose claim to fame, at least one of his claims to fame, is that he is actually president of the Harrisburg Rotary Club. Now, this is a club that does wonderful volunteer work in our community, has really helped the city in so many ways. And so one of the things I want to do is just find out about, first of all, about Sam Levine, and then how we came to be associated with the Rotary. So Sam, welcome.
Thanks, Joyce.
And please just tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm pretty much a Harrisburg native. My parents moved to Harrisburg when I was 2 years old and went to Steele School and Camp Curtin when Camp Curtin was a junior high school. And in 1969, my parents moved to Susquehanna Township, so I graduated from there in 1972. So I'm telling my age. And I stayed here for college. I went 2 years to Hack and then graduated from Penn State with a degree in business administration. After which I pursued a career in real estate and then finally into mortgage banking. And I had a 30-year career in mortgage banking, working for GMAC. And when things started to fall apart in 2008, decided it was kind of time to retire. And we opened a business in 2010, or 2011 actually, called Red Door Consignment Gallery on Paxton Street. And that's kind of been my hobby and fun, working and having fun at the same time. And I was approached about 8 or 9 years ago from a gentleman who I grew up with his family, Hal Hurwitz, who had been in the Rotary Club for many years. And Hal said, you need to become a member of the Rotary Club. And I had heard a little bit about Rotary, didn't know much about it, and at that time I was beginning to wind down my career in mortgage banking, and because I had traveled a lot, and so Hal invited me to a meeting, and I went to a meeting, and I was impressed with the openness of the individuals who were there, and learned a little bit more about Rotary and what Rotary did, and just thought, this is a way for me to get involved, not only in the greater Harrisburg community, but in helping, because Rotary does a lot both locally and globally, and so it was like, where can you find your passion for what you want to do and how you want to give back, and Rotary does that. Rotary is a service club, a service group. It's been around since the early 1900s. Our club.
When was the Harrisburg Rotary founded?
Actually, it's an interesting point. Harrisburg Club was formed in 1911. There are 33,000 Rotary clubs, and our Harrisburg Club was number 23.
Oh my goodness!
In all the world.
Historic. Wow, that's fantastic.
And it was started. The Harrisburg Rotary Club was always made up of businessmen, and I say men because it wasn't until the 80s until Rotary actually allowed women to enter the club, which
that transformed it, I'm sure.
it did. Let me tell you, without
some dynamic women, I know.
You know a lot of them. We do have a lot of dynamic women, and we've had a lot of women presidents of our club.
Yep, I remember Karen Snyder.
Karen
Snyder
Snyder
pulled me in on some projects.
Absolutely, Betty Hungerford.
Yes, Betty, absolutely.
People who are just very strong in our community. Una Martone,
Una's fantastic.
And Una actually is a governor of Rotary and our district governor, and she's moved on. But with there's 1.2 million Rotarians across the country, and Rotary does some unbelievable things, and globally, locally. Today you talk about polio. It's because of Rotary and Rotary's involvement that with the Gates Foundation and brought other people into it, that polio has pretty much been eradicated. Yes. And that was a major effort of the Rotary Club. So we do things from our club. Our club is the Harrisburg Rotary Club.
Yeah.
So our purpose is really to service the greater Harrisburg community. Yeah. Most of our members, not all, but a lot of our members work in Harrisburg, business owners, attorneys, members of different service organizations, and
And I know you have the Rotary, the Harrisburg Rotary, but it's important to say there are actually two Rotaries in Harrisburg.
There's a Keystone Club.
Keystone
Right.
Club, which I was a member of and still want to reconnect, but the job is so busy.
Right.
But you, the Harrisburg Rotary, has done some wonderful things in collaboration with this administration, with the mayor's office. One of those things was the renovation of what they used to call the victims room. It was such a horrible place where families would come who needed to talk to the police because they'd been victims of crime, and sometimes there'd be children there. The room was dingy and dirty. Well, Harrisburg Rotary steps in under Karen and just transformed it. It looks like a living room now.
Right.
And I think now it's your vision that you want to do another project for the city, and so you're searching around, for the...
Absolutely. We have April 21st, we have a day of service for Rotary, and as you know, we've been trying to find a project for our Rotary members for the city of Harrisburg. Joyce, our club has been very involved with the city school system in Harrisburg.
That's right.
We have a pancake breakfast every year where we raise funds. We just gave a check to the administration for $15,000 from our fundraising from our pancake breakfast. That's a great event. We have about 170 club members of our club. A large percentage of who participated in that event in October. It's a lot of fun. We raise funds for the Harrisburg School District. But we also, other than money, we also give back to the Harrisburg School District in other ways. We provide a scholarship to both SciTech and the John Harris campus, a $2,000 college scholarship.
Wow, that's great.
We also give one to Bishop McDevitt, and recently we brought in Steelton High. We do a contest each year. The Rotary theme, we talk about the four-way test.
Yes.
And so we have a contest each year for the Harrisburg School District. Two contests. One is a speech contest, which is for juniors and seniors, and one is an essay contest that we're actually in the process of right now for ninth graders. And the speech contest and the essay contest is to talk about the four themes of Rotary, the four questions that you should always ask, which is it the truth?
Right.
Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships, and will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Yeah.
So those are the four questions that we ask the students to speak about or write an essay on. And before becoming president of the club, I actually chaired the committee, and I would read these essays of these kids, and it would really bring tears to your eyes. I mean, just what some of the challenges that you can't even fathom that some of these kids face in life, and how they grow up way too fast. But when they write their essays or they speak and they talk about the four-way test of Rotary, it gives them something to think about when making decisions and helps them hopefully make better decisions. And that's what we're about, trying to help.
Well, I know the other thing you do with young people, because I've been to some of the lunches where you have the exchange students who come in and they stay with the family, they learn about the area, but they make lasting connections.
They do.
This is like a goodwill ambassador that we send back into the world. That's a fantastic thing.
This is a Rotary initiative throughout the world with exchange students, and some amazing things happen with these kids. I actually had dinner last night with a fellow Rotarian from a Colonial Park Club, and talking and actually it brought tears to eyes when he was talking about one of the kids that they mentored, and it was an exchange student, and how the student has gone on to become a Harvard graduate.
Oh, wow.
And, it's just I mean, some of the stories of and if you just think if you can make a difference in just one child, you've really accomplished something, and that's just one of the things that we try to do, is just to help students, to mentor them. And one of the other things at our club, we have a group that's called YCDT, Youth Community Development Team, And it teaches students leadership. We work with students in the Harrisburg School District and Bishop McDevitt, and it teaches them leadership. And right now they're actually putting out an RFP with for a funding of, I think it's $5,000.
Each year they do a grant program.
They do.
Yes, I
right.
remember that.
So they actually go to different organizations and ask them for an RFP.
Correct.
So these students take these RFPs, they look at them, and then they decide on who's going to get the grant.
Correct.
And so it really...
What a good project.
It teaches them philanthropy.
Yes.
It teaches them... it just
organizational skills. It teaches
Right.
them, leadership.
Right. Leadership,
and
right.
I'm sure they learn a lot about the needs of the community.
They do.
You know?
They do. And they teach us. And I think, whether it's a four-way essay contest or working with the kids from YCDT, I think we get as much out of it as they do. And it really teaches us, a lot.
Sure.
So,
Well, as if all of that weren't enough for you. I mean, you're obviously a dedicated person, dedicated to the community and to giving back. And I understand you're also chair of the Jewish Community Foundation. Tell us about that.
I am. It's, the Jewish Community Foundation of Central Pennsylvania is a $25 million, we have $25 million in assets, where we set up, individuals set up different funds. Some are endowment funds, established endowment funds, which we manage for them, and others are donor-advised funds. And it's a way for individuals to give back to the community. We are almost like each year they will give us a list, those who have donor-advised funds, a list of where they want their money to go. We'll write checks to different charitable organizations. Doesn't have to be Jewish organizations, Jewish and non-Jewish organizations that, from their designated funds, we will, will help support. I've been chair of that for 4 years. It's been a little challenging, being chair of that and
president of
Rotary at the same time. I'm a glutton for punishment.
But you're basically president of the Rotary for about a year, right? They
yes,
really rotate.
it is,
yes,
right.
So
it's a 1 year,
manageable.
right, it is manageable. It's 1 year. And they have a wonderful system that you're a president-elect and then you become president. So it's like you have this whole period of transition.
Yes.
So
and I think it's Andrew Reebok.
Andy Reebok, yes, Andy Reebok succeeds me.
Yes.
Yeah, Andy is well known in the community.
He's a kick. He's a jokester.
He's known as the billboard guy, and he's a lot of fun. And Andy will do great work with Rotary Club and help to continue to expand and grow our club.
So you clearly have a position of leadership, in our community. I just wonder if you would step back I know this is a little bit of a tough question, but clearly you've had a perspective of where this community has been, not only Harrisburg, but I guess the region, and where you see it going. I mean, are you optimistic about our region? Do you see things improving?
Joyce, I'm very optimistic about it. As I mentioned, in 2011 we opened a business, and I just think it's a great community to raise a family. I love the city of Harrisburg. I really do. I love the city of Harrisburg. After I graduated college, I bought a house in Midtown. In fact, that was in the late 70s, and I bought this house in Center City, or in Midtown. And I never forget.
So then it was called Center City.
It was kind of, that's true. That was before they called it Midtown. It was on 100 block of Calder Street.
I heard that come out. So
100 block of Calder Street, and I just loved living there. And then I got married, and my wife, Irene, loved it as well. And then we had a child, and it was like, okay, this 14-foot townhouse just isn't going to make it with a child. We moved to Susquehanna Township. We're 2 blocks outside of the city. And every Sunday morning, it's my routine to walk into the city to have breakfast at Yellow Bird Cafe or one of the restaurants in Center City or Midtown. I just think the city is such a livable place. It's a great place to raise children.
Yeah.
We have wonderful school districts throughout the greater Harrisburg area. I just think it's a wonderful place to raise a family. You don't have the high pressure. You don't have. You just don't have it. And if you want to go to Philly, you jump on a train, and an hour and a half you're in Philadelphia or Washington, or it's just a wonderful community. I see really great things happening, and I get excited when I see different development going on in the city and outside of the city. It's just, I think it's a
Well, we
wonderful
clearly
community.
believe that the city has gone through the worst and is really on the rebound and headed up, including, I mean, we're seeing so many businesses open. We're seeing, you were young in 72. We're
Right,
seeing a
right.
lot of young people
Right.
like that urban living, like that, and they're moving into downtown Harrisburg, and it's really a kind of a boon for I think for real estate right now.
I think it is. And, I think there's
Tell me about your real estate. Do you have properties in the
I
district?
do,
Yeah,
I do, and I think the boom in Harrisburg for real estate is not only for the young, it's for us empty nesters.
Uh-huh.
Yes. And my wife and I, if it wouldn't be for my wife has some mobility issues, so if we move, we want something on one level, and
Sure.
but so finding that that I'd love that 14-foot townhouse again, but I can't take the three
Right.
flights. But
But you could do a penthouse looking out over the water.
actually, it's funny you say that. When they were talking about developing where Char's restaurant is,
Yeah.
and that's back years ago. When they were talking about that was before the real estate crash.
Yeah.
And they were talking about developing condos there. My wife and I were right there, and we said,
sure.
"Okay, put us on the put us on the list.
Yeah.
We're there." So I see us coming back to the city when something like that is developed.
Yes, yeah.
I would just love to see more, the development on Front Street, and I mean that the views of the river are priceless.
They really are.
And
they really are.
if you can find something there, so that's my dream, is to find a condo on Front Street with a
Yes.
river view.
Yes.
That's my dream.
That sounds perfect to me as well.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, thank you for taking the time
Thank
to
you,
be
Joyce.
with us. And I'll just, I guess, let you have the last word to kind of tell us, as you look forward to what the Rotary has in store going forward. I mean, the Rotary Club, Harrisburg Rotary, where do you see it going? Do you see it growing? Do you see it having more of a presence or collaboration with the other clubs in the area? Tell us a little bit about how you see it going forward.
Absolutely. Service clubs in general have had issues of staying alive
Yes.
recently. Rotary has.
Are you getting younger members in?
We are. We are
Okay.
starting to attract younger members. And we do, one of the things that attracts younger members is when they see some of the things that we're doing. One of the projects Rotary has taken on in the city is the Peace Garden on
Yes,
Front
that's
Street.
beautiful.
And I mean, that's a wonderful project. We're working with, as you know, with the city to define a project where we can help the city not only have an initial impact on April 21st, which is our day of service, but to have a long-term impact. Again, we're pretty much a city-based organization, a city-based club, and we want to support the city. In addition to the school district, we want to support the city and help make it a better place to live. So I think there's a lot of things that we're planning. One of the other things that we're planning is we've done in the past is a vision screening project. We're working with Hamilton Health Center. We've done that in the past where we brought these students in from the school district. We paid for their glasses. It was just an amazing thing to see these kids come in, and they couldn't read the big D on the
Yes,
chart.
Yeah.
It's like,
And kids can't tell you they can't see because they don't know they can't
Right.
see.
How
Yes.
can they succeed in school when they
Yes.
can't see the big D on the chart? So we're working with the Hamilton Health Center, which they're building out a vision center in Hamilton Health, which is scheduled to be finished, I think, in April, to have part of that dedicated as a Rotary project where we'll provide, and we're raising money for that. We have a fundraiser coming up in May called Sweet Bites for Sites, where we invite these bakers in who are bakers, and we have a contest. So
Sweet Bites.
Sweet Bites for Sites.
That's
You have to
good.
come,
That's
Joyce.
good. I will.
If you have
Yeah.
a sweet tooth, it is so much fun. Now, you leave there quite full.
I'm sure.
But we have all these bakers who enter this contest, and so we sell tickets not only to our Rotarians but to guests, and there's an entrance fee for those bakers. And I think last year the group from Hack won. They had just a wonderful venue of different desserts. It was just great. So, you know, if you have a sweet tooth. So that's coming up to raise money for the Vision Project.
And what's the date? May?
That's in May. We haven't set
You
the
haven't
date, but
set
it's
the
going to be
date
in
yet.
early May.
Okay.
Early to mid-May,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, that'll
yeah.
be
So
something we will definitely
let
look
you know.
forward to. Absolutely. But again, you're doing great work.
Thank you, Joyce.
And obviously, there are so many great people in our city, like Sam Levine. And we want to make sure that we let the community know the great things that are happening here. So again, thank you, and all
you,
the
Joyce.
best to the Harrisburg Rotary.
you.
We look forward to working with you
As do
to
we.
build this city.
As do we. Thank you.
Absolutely. So again, thank you for tuning in to Who's Who in Harrisburg, and we look forward to seeing you on our next edition.